Hello everyone. I'm going to give a series of lectures on the piano technique of Sieveking, and that was what my piano teacher Gladys Barnes taught. She studied at Julliard with Sieveking in August of 1916, and this is the original manuscript that she wrote. And I'll give you the basic rules that she has written that we always use. I can put this back. And there we have them. So it says relaxed arm, firm fingers, balance weight of arm on tip of fingers, curved fingers, high quick action, up quickly, down quickly. Play well in on keys, thumbs straight, wrist loose. And the books she had typed out for us are like this. And it goes through each exercise. And there's several pages. So I'm going to demonstrate first going through them all, the ones that I use every day. And it takes me about 40 minutes to go through them. And your hands feel so much better when you have a regimen like that to stick to. Maybe I'll put that camera a little higher so that it looks more up. There. So you start by sitting tall and imagining that you have a yardstick on your spine. And your spine is like a stack of checkers. So your arms are just completely hanging like a rag doll, heavy, loose. And you want to be able to use that weight to produce the tone, to get that weight, that energy into the hammer. So if you can just lift them slowly, your arms, and feel that you can set your elbows in the keys, lift your feet up and down, feel the whole core body weight, that's what's your power, that's what's in the keys. Then you've got to be able to drop and draw the tone out of the piano, but you have to be able to have a snap to the finger, a sharp action, and you have to be able to press tight, tight, tight at the point when you have that sudden release of the weight. And that, as long as the wrist is movable and you come in gently, you can make a beautiful tone. So, what we start with is what's called the one finger exercise. And you exercise each finger 8 times. So you're down for a full second, up for a full second. You start with your fingers over C, D, E, F, G, 1 octave up from middle C for the right hand. Your second finger plays D, and you bring your thumb and 3, 4, 5 up out of the way so that they're not in the road. And you just drop on that note with the movable wrist and feel you're balancing the full weight of the arm in the key. And then you exercise the third finger while you hold the second. Lift. I actually help it out just to help stretch the hand. Then you hold the 8th one and you work the next finger. And it's heavy on the key. And if I pull on my elbow, it falls back. It's so relaxed. You've got to remember that you're using gravity. And you're using a sharp snap to the finger. And you hold the E, the F, and you work the E. Then you hold the E and you work the D. It's that sudden release of the drop of your weight. Release it on the way up and let it free fall. Come to a stop and then free fall, accelerate to the ground. Catch the energy in the key. And just hang on the key like you're hanging on the edge of a cliff with your whole body. Knuckles slightly raised, wrist slightly dropped. And you take C, D, E, F, G, an octave below middle C, and you hold 2 on F and you work E, 3. Now you hold E and you work D, the 4th finger. Nice high lift. Make sure that elbow's relaxed. Now you hold D and you work C. Come back, hold C and work D. Down for a full second, up for a full second. Hold E, D and work E. Hold E and work F. Hold F and work G. Pulling that thumb up out of the way. Give a stretch to the hand. Now, there's an exercise that you do in preparation for this next one, which I'll show you in another video, where it's individual fingers and nothing holding. It's just 6 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. 4 times, and then it moves on up and so on. But this one is harder, and you're going to have to hold the bottom note and work for 16 notes, then hold the top note and work for 16 notes. So it's C, D, E, D. You're holding C all the while, the whole time. 3, 4, da, da, da. Now you hold the E and come back. And then I stretch all of those ones, each finger. So now I hold D and I work the D, E, F group. Then I pick up the tempo a bit. Quicker. Then I come down. So it's C, B, A, B. Group, I go D, C, B, D, C with nothing holding. Then I start on my 2, 3, 4 group. I start on D. But I start slowly. I've already done these today, so what's this thing doing? So I start slowly, but then I can go faster about the middle, and then as fast as I can at the top. So at the top, then I come down, start slowly, heavy, and know it would come crashing down. Then I start the thumb group. I repeat it like that just to feel comfortable in each key, that I'm in with my body weight, all 70 trillion body cells. Just include your seat, the whole bit. It's like if you're in an airplane and it lands on the tarmac, you're still in the seat. Your seat is still in the balance that's in the wheels of the plane when it lands on the tarmac. Come down, start slowly. I just do double thirds. I go on C, D, E, F, G, like 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 3 and 5, 4 and 2. I'm just stretching the unused fingers back. Silent keyboard, so I don't have to listen to it because I know the tone that I want, the heavy sound. Now I take the major triad on C and I play the 2 and 4 in between 8 times. And I go back, hold the D, F, and I work the C, E, G. I do the same thing an octave higher where I'm not helping it out with the other hand. And the lift's all in the hand so that I don't tighten and lose my weight and push. I don't want to push at all. And I do the left hand. I start the whole thing on the left. So C, D, E, D, E, D, E, D. And then I come back on 3, 4, 5. The same thing in both hands then. So this comes down, then I go back up on 2, 3, 4 and down, then up on 3, 2, 1 and down, and then the double thirds. The dead weight's the origin of the tone, but there's the sudden release and the pressure of the finger pressing tight, 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 and the high lift all in the hand so you don't tighten your wrist. And then, so I do that. Then I do wrist exercises, and I'm just going to briefly show you. And then it goes faster. Right up to and down. And then I do the stretch ones. That's C major, where you got C, D, C, F, E, D, C in the left, and you got G, A, B, C in the right. So and your thumbs play C's, so you're out from that. That's twice in C major. Then you lower 3 and 4 in the right and 3 in the left, and you're doing C minor melodic form descending. Then you lower 2 in the right, 4 in the left as well, and you're on leading note to leading note of C sharp major. Then you go to C sharp major, so you're over the first 4 notes of C sharp major in the left and the other notes of the scale from in the right, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then it's 2, 3, 4, 5 in both hands, and your thumb repeats. D minor, and then preparing for the next key. So you go all the way up the scale like that, and eventually you just feel comfortable with all the keys in your hands. And then I do the diminished seventh, thumb, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 1, hands together. So they're all just separated by a minor third. Thumb, 1, 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 5, 1 and 4, 1 and 3, 1 and 2. Just bounces like the fingers are like your toes sprinting you along. And I go all the way up an octave, and then I come down 5. So 5 repeats each time. Right down the octave. And then I do another one that I'll explain in another video that goes through all your keys. So it's with that C repeating, and in the left it's with C repeating. You do it together. And you put the E flat and the A flat. And then you come down to prepare for the notes of C sharp major. to C sharp major. So I go through all the keys right up to the top, 1 octave. Then I do double thirds. So whole tone. So I'm over C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp in both hands. And I go 1 and 3, 2 and 4. And I play that twice, 4 times. And then I go 5 and 3, 4 and 2. And you keep a V out from you so that you can play sharply down from that main arch of knuckles. I just move up a semitone. I go all the way up the whole octave, then I come back down. And it's 5 and 3, 4 and 2 in the left. So together it's 5 and 3. And then I do it where I don't stop. I go and so on the last one I go just rock from 5 to 1, holding 3 down. And in the left I rock from 5 and 3 to 1 and 3, holding 3 down. And I move up a semitone. All the way up and down. So it takes months to learn those and get it right, but if you do them every day, your hands feel pretty good. Then I do my stretch exercises, which is, to begin with, C major in root position in the left and first inversion in the right. So C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E. And I play 5 and 2, and then I play 4 and 1. And I'm keeping a V out from me so that I'm not letting it go the other way. I want to play down from that main arch of knuckles that's raised. Now I've moved to the E flat for after 6 of those. Then I bring 2s towards each other, a semitone. And I go to D flat major. C sharp minor. 2s towards each other to prepare for D major. And then I go to D major. So I go through all of those right up the octave. Then I do the same notes, only I go octave to 2/4. So then C minor with the E flat. Just in first inversion, that's all. So it's on an E flat for 1 and 5. 2s towards each other. And I go up the whole octave. Then I do a few little things. Chromatic. And I do chromatic separated by a minor third. Then I do chromatic contrary motion. And then I do just on C major, double thirds. Up an octave and down an octave, so and then I do octaves, up 4, back 2. then I take the Chopin Polonaise, the part that has the octaves in the left, and I just go through that to feel the same drop in each one. I voice the melody. Of course, you have to practice quietly too, and get expression and so on. But that's just keeping the octaves in my left hand for that particular piece strong. Then I take a broken chord of C major. So I'm going 1 on C E G. 1, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3. Then first inversion has 1, 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4. Second inversion on G has 1, 4, 2, 4. And then back to root position with the 1, 3. Then I turn it around. I come 5, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. Then 5 and second inversion, so it's 4, 2. 5, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2. 5, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2. 5, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. In the left, it's fourth finger for root position, fourth for first inversion, excuse me, third finger for second inversion, and fourth finger for root. 5, 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2. So it's 1, 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4. Independent fingers, and then 1, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 5, 4, 2, 4. Hands together. Then I do C minor, so the E is flat. Everything else is the same. And then I do the diminished seventh, so I'm on C, E flat, G flat. And I'm into D flat major. Then I do arpeggios going up, but I use first, third, fifth, seventh notes. So you just pivot the weight with your thumb to get to the next one. And I go down 8, 6, 4, 2. In the left, it's the same. So I do it together. For C minor, so it's E flat going up and A flat coming down. Then I do the diminished seventh, where I go with the E flat and the G flat both up and down, but I go up with the fourth finger on B flat and down with the fourth on A flat in the right, and same for the second finger in the left. All the keys like that. I usually don't go too far, maybe 1 or 2 keys more. And then I do a really difficult one that I'll explain. It'll take a whole YouTube video to show it, but it's that's in C major first, or G major first inversion in the right, and in the left is G B D, but it's 1, 3, 4. And the trick in the left is that it holds the middle finger, whereas the right is just going 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 2. The left is going like a first inversion of G major chord, 1, 3, 4. And you hold the third finger and you lift 1 and 4 and you go to 2 and 5. You're still holding 3. And then you go back. So you're doing something different in the right than you're doing in the left. And then you go all the way up like that, chromatically. And then you reverse it, and the right hand has the first inversion of G major, 5, 3, 2. And you got to be able, so you got to hold the third finger in the right for all of that. And whereas the left is going 1, 3, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 2. So it's and you go up a semitone. You go through all your keys right up. Then I take the start of a few pieces slow and heavy, just to keep them in my hands, basically. So the Chopin Black Note Etude, and I'm trying to be in every note, so just heavy, not the way you'd play it, but just to keep it in my hands. And then this one. And then Jesu Joy of Man Desiring, slow and heavy. Of course, if you're playing it, like that, but lifting the unused fingers high and rolling like doorknob rotation. To keep the notes in my hands. And then the Chopin Fantasia impromptu. I'm thinking of the time signature where if I'm counting like da 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 1 and 2 and 1, so a loose wrist, 1 and 2 and repeats 1 and 2 and then when I come down here, I'm remembering that there's 4 against 3, so the right hand has 2 sounds, except at the beginning it's a rest and then a note, but it's tick, tick. So it's like, come Tommy, jump to me. 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 Come Tommy, each pulse, the right has 2 notes before the left, like, and then same thing, same thing, same thing. So I'm just getting it solidly in my hands. Heavy practice, high lift. And then I take the un sospiro on heavy. It's like landing a plane on every single note. You got to get balanced. 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Through all of that, and then I take the Shubert impromptu opus 90 number 2. I'm going slow. I'm trying to think of triplets. Da 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 da. So that I'm rolling from one note to the next. Da 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 da. The fingers are deep. There's still that sudden drop. There's still the pressing tight, tight, tight. There's still the lifting of the unused fingers, but it's done so loosely. In there because I haven't done it slow enough. So, but then when you go faster, the thumb is kind of like a horn going da boom, da boom. Takes about 40 minutes for me to go through, and that just gives you an oversight to doing technique to keep your hands in shape. Hope that helps. Take care.